friends. Today I'm going to walk you through how to create a super simple name keychain in Adobe Illustrator. We're going to design it from start to finish and get it ready and prepped for your laser. So I have a name typed out here. The font I'm using is called Fishtail Script. And so there's a couple of things you need to think about before you create your keychain. What do you ultimately want your laser to do? Do you want your laser to engrave this? Do you want your laser to cut out the letters so you can place it on top of something? You need to make that decision before you start designing. So I want to have my laser cut the text out and then I want to place it on a backer. So that's what I'm going to do. So the very first thing I'm going to do is make sure that the text is selected. Then I'm going to go to Object and I'm going to expand it. Now, what happens there is you're telling Illustrator to create path lines around each individual letter, because when they are in a text form, your laser can't really see that. And you have to kind of create the outlines around the letters so that your laser knows where to cut, okay? So now if I switch over to outline mode by selecting Command Y, I can see that now there's outlines around every single letter. But there's like all these extra outlines here, and that's for each individual letter. So what I'm going to do is select everything by clicking and dragging across, and I'm going to open up my Pathfinder. If you can't find Pathfinder, you just go over to Window and open the Pathfinder window. Now I'm going to make sure that they're all selected and I'm going to click on Unite. And when I did that, you can see that all of those letters are now touching and they're all connected, which is exactly what we want our laser to do. I'm looking over here though, and I don't like how the C is like a separate letter. So if you put that in a laser and you cut that out, this is going to just fall away, right? It's going to fall off. So what I usually do is if I have a name like that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my direct selection tool. I'm going to click on it and I'm just going to drag it over so that it's touching. And then we're going to do the same thing. You can see that now there's path lines around that. We're going to go back to Pathfinder and unite it. Okay. Now this is ready to go. I am going to swap this from a fill to a stroke by clicking this arrow right here. And now I have path lines around this entire thing. And when I send this to my laser, the laser is going to know, ooh, I probably should cut around all of this. So here is the first part. Now I want to create that offset around it so I can glue this on top. So all we're going to do is select, go to Object, go to Path, and then go to Offset Path. And here is where you decide how much you want to offset. So here we've got 0.01. Let's do like 0.015 and see what we get. I kind of love that. That's perfect size, but we've got these little like holes in here, so don't worry about that too much. So I'm going to keep that. And then I don't like these holes, right? So I'm going to actually select the direct selection tool right up here. I'm going to click and then I'm just going to hit the delete button on my keyboard. And then I've got this piece right here, and then I've got this piece that's separate, okay? So I am now going to create that hole that you're going to be able to put your key ring through, okay? So let's see. I'm going to put this here. I actually don't like this hole right here. So I'm also going to remove that. Okay. So I love that. Now we're going to think about where to put the key ring. So I'm probably going to put it like right here. So I'm going to grab the shape tool. I'm going to click on, if you right click, you'll see all the different shapes you can choose. You want to click the ellipse tool. Now there's several ways to do this. This is just the way I do it. So I started by drawing a circle, holding down shift so I could get a perfect circle. And let's just put it like right there. Then I'm going to create another circle. I just duplicated it by copying and pasting it. And I'm going to put that one right there in the middle. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we are going to move this guy over so he's not confusing. But then I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to grab the shape builder tool right here. And with the shape builder tool, you can create shapes with what you have selected. Okay. So you can create, you can add pieces together and then you can remove pieces. So that's what I'm going to do. You can see that there's a plus sign on my cursor. So I'm just going to drag along where I want the parts of that shape to be united, okay? But then this part right here, I don't really want this here. So I'm going to hold down Option, and I'm just going to remove that little piece right there. And there you go. Now you have a really simple name keychain that you can cut on your laser. You've got two pieces here, two different materials if you want. Okay, now if you prefer to engrave the name in your offset over here, then all you really need to do is plop that right in here. Then you're going to swap this from a stroke to a fill. So when we did that earlier, we swapped it from a fill to a stroke. Now we're going to do the opposite and swap it from a stroke to a fill. And so when I send this to a laser, my laser is going to know, okay, I want to fill in all of these dark spots, and then I'm going to cut around all of this. So I stick with the same colors for every single file that I create. I always make all of my cuts in red right here, and then anything that I'm going to engrave in black, and I fill it, and then anything I'm going to score in purple. So make sure before you save your file, you set the colors that you want, and then you can go from there. Okay, and there you have it, a super simple name keychain in Adobe Illustrator.